Everybody, I want you to meet my new friend, Cerrina Jensen. She wears a couple of 2 or 3 hats. First and foremost, she's a broker consultant for SolV Insurance Services. She is the founder of a different business, Stellar Stories, Love Stories. Not to mention, she's also helped found a nonprofit, Elevate Foundation, to promote female leadership in the insurance industry. And having been connected to all types of insurance folks on LinkedIn, that is a fantastic move that she's making there. Not to mention, she is a nationally recognized leader in the insurance industry. She's won all the awards. She hails from San Francisco, been in Sacramento for a hot minute, and is almost considered a native there. So, hey, Cerrina, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here.
Back up real quick. You got that San Fran logo behind you. What do you think about Trey Lance and Jimmy G?
Oh boy, that's a hard one. It's a heartbreaker for Trey. I'm glad his surgery went well, but I am honestly really glad to see Jimmy get another season.
I cannot believe how the front office has just fell into such. It's not good luck for poor Trey, but they couldn't really do anything with Jimmy G. Couldn't get him anywhere else. They held on to him almost begrudgingly, and finally said, "All right, well, you can hang out in the locker room for a little bit, but don't play with anything." And now he's going to come in and probably save the season, put him back and deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, it's great to have such depth of talent on our team after so many years of ups and
That's
downs.
right. Yeah. All right. So refocus here. You wear 3 different hats, right? So tell me a little bit first and foremost about SolV. What are you doing there?
Yeah, so SolV is an independent employee benefits brokerage based in Granite Bay, California, which is right outside of Sacramento. And we have clients and team members all across the country. Some of the sharpest minds in the industry, I will say, very elite squad. I'm so honored to be a part of it. I took a leap of faith when I quit my job from my last employer a couple of years ago to join this team. And the things that we're accomplishing on behalf of the employers we represent are nothing short of amazing in terms of both cost and quality access to localized care. So it's probably been the most gratifying 2 years of my career, and I've been in this business a very long time.
What were you doing before? I mean, obviously, he's insurance.
I've been a benefits broker for, I don't know, 12 or so years. Before that, I was in the insurance business on the carrier side. But the types of specialties that we bring forth for our clients, the strategies in terms of bending the cost curve and giving our clients a more autonomous control over their own health plan and their own spend is something that most brokers don't touch, and the ones that do don't have the depth of expertise and knowledge that we have on our team.
Gotcha. So how does that bleed into, or where did Stellar Stories start? When did it start?
Stellar Stories actually started shortly before I joined the team at SolV. I had been, I was at a crossroads in my career. I was actually, to be candid, thinking about leaving the insurance business altogether because I had been exposed to, a little bit about how the sausage gets made, and I was kind of grossed out by it, and I didn't really feel very good about my role in that whole process. And so I started Stellar Stories thinking it was going to be my gradual exit strategy out of business, focused on leadership development, communication, process management, things like that, all my favorite things about being a benefits broker. And, as fate would have it, I was introduced to the owners at SolV, which was known as Veris Insurance at the time, which means truth. And we have just, some people ask if, we've been acquired or things like that. No, we just did a simple rebrand. It's a 6-year-old company, and it was time for us to kind of really look at our purpose and our achievements and things like that. And we felt it was time for a new name that is closer tied to what we do. We're out there solving problems for employers every single day.
And just drop the E for simplicity.
Yeah, well, that's our CEO's, attempt at being clever and cute.
I understand. Well, nobody else will be called that. So in looking at, so Stellar Stories, is training? Is it one-on-one? Is it group? Is it online? What does it look like?
Yeah, so Stellar Stories organically took a little bit more of a backseat as I got more engaged in being a full-time benefits broker again. Learning how to work in larger size accounts and learning how to design and manage alternative funding programs, which is one of our specialties at SolV. And that was my attempt a minute ago at being clever and cute. Actually, the name SolV has a real cool origin story that's on our website. So invite anybody to check out our website and read that origin story because it's pretty cool.
So is Stellar Stories just on the sideline at the moment, or is
it is. Okay. So Stellar Stories, I do limited selective consulting with respect to training and helping people develop their leadership skills, find the barriers that they might have imposed on themselves in terms of their own momentum. So, kind of coaching right, not necessarily a formal coach or anything like that, but definitely putting tools in the hands of my clients to help elevate their team.
Got you. So in that in that business you're targeting, obviously you're targeting insurance. You're targeting agencies, or what are you looking at there?
I'm typically targeting small employers. Most of the people that I work with happen to be in my own industry, but it's certainly not exclusive to insurance companies. It's smaller employers that don't necessarily have access to more luxurious resources to get their folks trained.
And that is, I can tell you, as business coaching for as long as I have it, even before then, I came from corporate America. I worked at 2 different training departments, and that's always the first thing that everybody always says they need. And unfortunately, always, especially right now, not to use the R word, recession, but it's always the first thing that people want to cut too, which is mind-boggling. We want to make sure that we retain people, we make them happy, which is difficult right now. And then it's also one of the, looking at the bottom line. Well, we can get rid of training, keep the Keurig machines loaded up and everything else, but don't teach everybody how to, be leaders and step up in their industry,
Well, right. And, it's so funny that you say that because I was doing some reading this morning and I came across an article and I could not agree more with it. It was talking about, there's emerging intelligence in terms of how to evaluate employee engagement. And it's not necessarily about, presenteeism and quiet quitting as much as it's about a passion factor. How passionate are your employees about, their own personal buy-in to your overall mission as an organization. So, we know so many people are actually literally thinking about leaving their job right now. And so retention is the name of the game right now, right? Because it is so expensive to deal with that turnover.
So you're talking about passion. I mean, you got really fired up over talking about a job, a SolV. So a lot of people will get that. What makes you so passionate about doing the type of work you're doing?
Oh boy.
Well, that's a loaded question. I didn't give you any prep time.
Loaded question. I mean, where do I start? I think my passion just comes from my own personal, my dream job when I was a kid is I wanted to be a school teacher. I wanted to be an educator. And so I think my natural talents lean in the direction of leadership development, seeing the potential in people and helping them to discover their own strengths, their own talents, their own challenges. And kind of how to navigate and create momentum for themselves. Somebody once asked me, what is my number one secret ingredient to success? And it truly is the golden rule. I believe very, very strongly in treating other people the way I want to be treated myself. And I just really try to apply that in everything that I do. And so I guess that's just where it comes from, is a natural desire, to leave this world better than I found it.
Well, speaking of which, tell me about this nonprofit.
Oh boy, talk about passion. That is my passion project. So I don't have enough time here to go into all of the details but there is a new article out in a couple of our trade magazines. Our state trade magazine is called Cal Broker, and our national trade magazine is called America's Benefit Specialist. And there's a detailed article about kind of what Elevate Foundation is all about, why it exists, what we're aiming to accomplish. But really, in a nutshell, it's all about female leadership and empowerment in our industry. And it's definitely not, feminista, certain kind of pink hats type of gig at all. It is definitely all about teaching women to get out of their own way and release their self-imposed barriers. I had quite a few that I wasn't aware of until an event that I actually attended. And so it's just my way of paying it forward. It's myself and a number of girlfriends from the industry that have been doing this since 2019. We started with a women's leadership summit hosted out from within our professional association here in California, and it has just organically grown and blossomed. And so we have, in partnership with our professional association, which has historically been known as CAHU, or California Association of Health Underwriters, now known as CAHIP, also another recent rebrand, a lot of that going on, right? But in partnership with them, we have, made a transition to host this Women's Leadership Summit on an annual basis through this nonprofit foundation, which the whole purpose is to generate funding so that we can help women who are coming into the insurance industry to get plugged in quickly with a professional network, and help them get to industry events where they're going to learn and grow and connect and be able to, kick off their career with success.
So you've got 3 different things going on all at the same time. I know one of them semi-part, but I assume you're still working with. So another loaded question, how do you handle 3 different activities all throughout the course of 1 week? How do you go about scheduling those or figuring out where to spend your time?
Somehow I manage. I know it sounds a little crazy. I'm like, wait, how am I doing all of that? But at SolV, we have the most amazing service team. One of the corporate values at SolV is true work-life balance for our team. And so they have a relatively low caseload, client to account manager ratio. So they are phenomenal. I didn't know, how much service work I was doing prior to joining this team, which they do so much for me. And that does allow me a lot of, work-life balance of my own. And the other thing that keeps my sanity flowing is, first of all, I moved to one combined calendar. I don't know what I ever thought I was doing, having different calendars for all these different realms. That about drove me nuts. And color coding my activities has helped me a lot to actually be able to visually see very quickly where I'm spending my time and when I need to make adjustments and, give more of my weekend away to my passion projects as opposed to my quote unquote day job representing employers all across the country with their employee benefits. Yeah.
Well, I know your time is a little brief today, so I want to switch to a couple of fun questions real quick before we hang it up. Who would you like to meet that either you haven't met yet, and could be dead or alive, but we'll leave it open ended there.
Oh boy, yeah, that's a long list. I mean, I'm going to tell you the honest truth, and it's going to be very indicative of who I am and what I'm about. My number 1 on that list is Jesus Christ.
Oh.
So I know that's going to happen eventually. I hope not anytime soon because I have lots to accomplish here. But that is number 1 on my list. There's lots of other folks who have come and gone and are still around, on the planet. But that's definitely going to be my number 1.
That's a smart answer too. Going down that road real quick, do you have any way that you feel like you're able to kind of promote your faith throughout some of the things you do? And I know at a full-time job, that can be a little tricky, especially more to stereotype, more in your part of the world than, let's say, here in Tennessee. So how do you kind of do that within any of those 3 realms?
Such a great question. And without question, so I am definitely not a holier than
Sure.
thou, oh, your sins are worse than mine kind of a person. I am super humble. I know that I do not have the power to get out of bed in the morning and brush my teeth without, the grace of God. And I don't push or bombard that on anyone. I'm naturally drawn to other people who are believers in what I call, the truth. But I
Sure.
love people of all walks of life, faith, beliefs. So it's definitely I just try to live in my truth and be a good example for other people. And like I said, the golden rule is what I go by. I just try to
Sure.
treat people the way I want them to treat me, and try to be a source of light and joy in the lives of other people. That I feel like that's our purpose. I feel like that's why we're here, is to bless other people. And so that's how I go about my business. I'm not always
And
perfect at it. I do fail.
sure.
I get crabby. I swear a lot,
Yeah.
so, but it's okay to be imperfect. No, but no other,
Sure.
there's only one human that ever walked this earth that was perfect. And it's not you and it's not me or any of the other people that are here right now.
I've seen the T-shirt more than once that says "I love Jesus, but I cuss a little too."
Exactly.
Well,
And
tell
we're
us.
allowed to do that.
So tell us, Serena, if somebody needs to learn more about the benefits of Solve and or getting some training or helping plug women into the insurance industry, how do they find you?
Well, I am very fond of saying, and that is one benefit of the odd spelling of my name. I am super easy to find. I don't believe there's anybody else that has my name spelled the way that it is, and so I typically on online go by Cerrina J. And like I said, it's very easy to find me on mostly LinkedIn is where I spend a lot of my social media time, but I'm available on other platforms as well.
That's a powerful way to say just Google me.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for making it so simple. I'll just say that from
Google it.
going forward. I
Uh,
do Google myself from time to time just to kind of check on things, make sure there's not any, fake news out there.
Man, well, good for you. Every time I do it, I get I wanted the URL charlesalexander.com, but a guy coincidentally here in Nashville, a Malaysian country singer, and I only point out Malaysian country singer because he does, so I'm not throwing any shade his way, but he already snagged it, just a couple of miles down the road. So I had to go yourcharlesalexander.com. So congratulations on being very Googleable.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, my dad's name is James Martin, and he's like, there's
All the
thousands and
James
thousands
Martins.
of us.
Well, Serena, I appreciate you spending a little time with us. Good luck to you in your future. Go Niners, except when they play the Titans, and you have a great day.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed it. I appreciate it so much. Have a great day.